Hey guys, so if you haven't seen yesterday's video, you might want to go back and watch that because I'm going to make references to that video in today's video. So in yesterday's video, that was the first time I had worn makeup in a long time, and it really lifted my spirits. I just hadn't had any interest in makeup at all since this whole thing began. I think you know what I'm talking about. For some reason, you're not allowed to say that word in your videos or they get demonetized. So you guys know what I'm talking about. And yeah, it really lifted my spirits. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it again today. Instead of responding to each and every comment that was left on yesterday's video, I just thought I would come on here today and say thank you. I read every single comment that you guys left, and I really appreciate you I really appreciate you commenting about your own personal experiences with this situation. I think you will find that just putting it down on paper or putting it in the comment section on my video, just talking about it makes you feel a little bit better about it. No matter what your situation is, just getting it off your chest and talking about it is, got a hair right here that's bothering me. It just makes you feel better talking about it, and yeah, I don't know, just it helps. Even if it doesn't change anything. If it's like, if you haven't been feeling good, or if you know someone personally who hasn't been feeling good, or worse, you've lost somebody, or you have a close friend or relative who is sick, yeah, just talking about it makes you feel better, because we're all in this together. We're all human beings sharing a horrible experience because life as we know it has completely changed. Thank God, there are still places like Walmart and Target and independent grocery stores that are open, drugstores, gas stations. Thank God for all the essential workers out there who still have to go to work every day and do their job regardless of what is happening. And they probably wish they could just hunker down in their house and not go anywhere. The next time you complain to somebody about the fact that you're bored, or you can't go where you want to go or do what you want to do, think about that for a second. That there's people out there putting themselves at risk every day to make your life a little bit easier or more convenient. I mean, how long would the food in your house last? Or, not just food, but other essentials that you need to live your life. How long would that last if it wasn't for those people stocking those shelves and being at those stores? We all appreciate the medical people in the hospitals that are trying to save lives, but those other people are just as important, if not more so. Well, no, not more so, but you know what I'm saying. They're important too. And then people also forget about the people that work at the electric department, the internet service providers, the water department, the policemen, the firemen, the EMTs. There's so many people out there that are doing jobs that are critical to all of us. And I just want to say thank you to all of them. I sincerely doubt that any of them are watching this video, but you are appreciated. The people who pick up your trash, what would you do with all that stuff? And what kind of problems would that create if they didn't come and pick up your garbage? I mean, you would just have to find a place to put it, and now that's going to draw rodents, and wild animals could be tearing it apart and making a big mess if you just threw it in the back of your house somewhere or whatever. So all these things are crucial. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I truly do. You know, it takes a crisis like this for people to appreciate things that maybe they took for granted before. I've always been the kind of person who appreciated everything in my life because I don't know, I just have. I understand that there are so many people out there that don't have what they need, and so I've always appreciated everything that I've ever gotten in my life. I really have. I think, I don't know if I've talked about this before or not, like my philosophical or religious outlook on life, but I would like to believe that there's an afterlife. You know, I kind of believe in reincarnation. The reason why I say kinda is because I'm not 100% sure of anything in this world, and it kind of makes sense to me because I feel like life is a series of lessons, and you know, we all screw up, we all make mistakes, but hopefully when you do, you learn something from it. Lord knows I've made my share of mistakes in my life and regret each and every one of them, but I've learned, you know, I've learned where I went wrong, and I wouldn't do that again. It was a lesson to be learned, and hopefully, you know, in my next life, given the same circumstances, I wouldn't make the same mistakes again. But, you know, if there is another life after this, unfortunately, we don't seem to retain the memories of those lives. But I think maybe we do, because how many times have you been in a situation where you just instinctively know what to do without any prior knowledge of that situation? And I think that's maybe where that comes from, is maybe we do kind of remember things that happened to us before. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but that's just how I feel about that. So let's lighten this up a bit, because we're getting pretty heavy here. You're not supposed to talk about religion, politics, sex. There's just certain things that you shouldn't talk about in YouTube videos because everybody has their own outlook and their own opinion on it. So that's why I try not to talk too much about religion and things like that. But you know what? Since we're on the subject, hold on. Okay, since I brought up that subject, this might be a good segue into telling you what I've been reading. I told you I've been doing a lot of reading. I sometimes will read two things at the same time, depending on where my mind is at that particular time. I might read something fiction, or I might read something nonfiction. It just depends on how serious I want to delve into what I'm reading at that moment. So I had been reading these things simultaneously. So let's start with the fiction. What I have just finished is the Umbrella Academy graphic novels. These were written by the singer from My Chemical Romance, which I didn't even realize that initially, but that's kind of interesting, huh? That somebody would be crossing genres like that between artistic pursuits. But yeah, I don't know if any of you have seen the TV show on Netflix, but that's what got me interested in this in the first place. So I started off actually with book number 2, which is Dallas. And then I read book number 3, which is Hotel Oblivion. And the reason why I did it that way and skipped over book 1 is because book 1 was the first season of the show on Netflix. And I figured, okay, I already know what's going to happen, so I could just jump right into 2 and then 3. But then I thought, well, the book is never the same as the TV show. So if I enjoyed the TV show, it might be interesting to see what the book was like. So I was able to get my hands on a copy because, you know, retail as we know it is not that easy right now. It's not that easy to acquire things anymore, but I was able to get book number 1, and I enjoyed it. I'm glad that I didn't end up just skipping that entirely. So I finished all of those. Now the book that I've been reading that is nonfiction is a book that I've had in my book collection because I have a huge book collection. I've been very fond of books my whole life. I used to work at Borders Books and Music for a couple years, and I missed that store so much. I wish they had not gone out of business. This is the nonfiction book that I've been reading. So I've had this in my collection for years, and books are, it's funny about books. Sometimes you'll buy a book because you're interested in it, but it isn't the right time to read that book. This was the right time. And I'm more than halfway through with it now because this is some heavy-duty reading. I finally got around to reading the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And this is, this is some heavy-duty reading. If you're not familiar with this aspect of yoga, a lot of people, when they think yoga, they think exercise. There are many different kinds of yoga, and this is more the spiritual philosophy of yoga. It's that aspect of it. I know some people don't even realize that there is one, but yeah. So this was this particular Swami's interpretation or philosophy of the Yoga Sutras that are from thousands of years ago. I'm so glad he did this because otherwise this knowledge wouldn't even be available to the average person. I doubt this particular book is still in print, but I'm sure that there's some form of it available. But this particular one is the translation and commentary by Sri Swami Satchidananda. I probably butchered that pronunciation, but that's my best interpretation of it. Now, he died in 2002, and this particular copy was from 1978, which I'm surprised I didn't buy it in 1978, but that's, I think, when it was printed. But anyway, I've been really enjoying this, and boy, this is the perfect time to be reading this because it really gets you thinking about life and experiences and the philosophy of life and how we look at things and just everything. This is the perfect book to be reading right now. So yeah, that's what I've been reading. And so now I think I'm just going to continue with this because I am more than halfway through it. And then what I'm going to read after that, I don't know, because I think it would make a lot of sense at this point to just read something that's already in my collection that I haven't read yet. And what that's going to be, I have no idea. I wish I had a whole bunch of graphic novels, though, in my collection, which I don't. I've only been really getting into graphic novels the last, I don't know, year or so. But I just really enjoy it because it's an easier read because of the pictures with the dialogue. And I don't know, but I like heavy-duty reading, too. Anyway, so is this a good point to leave this at? Yeah, this is long enough for a video, I think. But I have other things that I would like to just talk to you about, and so maybe I'll come back next week and touch upon some of those subjects too, because I feel like, you know, there's a lot going on that I would like to talk about my experiences with, like going to the grocery store and, you know, maybe some of the things I've been watching on Netflix, and there's a lot to There's a lot that we can share. And I think it's kind of therapeutic to come on and talk about things because of the current climate. I'm not talking about the fact that spring isn't here yet, but hurry up, spring. We need you. Boy, wouldn't that lift everybody's spirits if it got warmer and stopped raining so much, and we even had snow a couple times over the last couple of weeks. But yeah, we needed to get warmer, but that would kind of make it harder not to go outside, right? Anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. I really appreciate you being here, and comment about anything that you like, because I read each and every comment, whether I respond to it or not. Sometimes I don't know what to say, like, as a response, but I definitely read all of them. So thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.